Hey, how's it going, everyone's Kyle from Welcome Props. Welcome back to the first video after my anticlimactic return. So as I was saying in that video, of course, there is a ton of progress that's actually been made in the jump kit. So quick disclaimer is that, yes, the suit is not done, but it's actually a good thing it's not done because I'm making sure the suit is going to be as best as it can be. It's going to be the best thing I've ever created to that date when it's finished. There's so much stuff I'm learning like not just learning as I go, but learning in order to make it the best thing I can make. We're talking new 3D modeling techniques, new 3D modeling programs, new ways of building, combinations of building, all kinds of forms of new designing and all this stuff. It's absolutely a huge learning curve, and it's going to be absolutely fun. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be sturdy. It's going to be not only the best suit I've built, it's going to be the best because I have forced myself to make sure I get it exactly the way I want. So first thing is first, I want to show you guys the jump kit because I think that was the big thing, one of the two big things that I was kind of getting to towards the end before I kind of just vanished. So a lot of progress has been made on the jump kit. I don't think I had anything ready when I was before I vanished. What's happened is basically, there's still all the body work that's to be done and getting everything situated, but as far as initial building is concerned, all that's left are the thrusters. That's awesome. So I'll show you right here the base of the jump kit. We have the base of the jump kit. Right now I'm sealing it so I can end up doing sanding and do any body work on it because the MDF is porous, so it's going to soak up a lot of material, so this is going to prevent that. Everything was hand drafted. The templates are actually behind me. This took a lot of time. I actually, just about every single piece I ended up having to redo at least once because somehow it didn't line up properly. But I'm really happy with how it came out, and you'll probably see there are a ton of holes everywhere. And this is all part of the attachment system. These are 3D printed. These are all going to be for some LEDs. I know there's a lot. After continuing to build, I sort of determined that I don't think I'm going to end up using all of these holes. I just think that might be a little excessive, but they're all there just in case. This back is open, and this is of course the side that goes against my back, and of course there's more holes here. Actually, I can bring this around to show you guys what all this means. Quick glance, I'm going to show you all the 3D printed parts that I have designed, 3D modeled, and 3D printed just for the base of this. Here are all the 3D printed parts. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, and then 26. Yeah, that's quite a bit. So the reason why there's so many is a lot of it is that, again, there's a lot of the different contours and shapes of this that really needed to be accomplished, and given the amount of time and pain it took to get this all square, I didn't want to do that. Plus, I wanted to reduce material, and the way I want to attach it mechanically, I figured, let me use the printer, because it's going to do the best job of that. So these are the outer panels for the kit. They will go on here, and part of this is that it's, with all the bells, it's helping create more of that geometry. Some of these will not be permanently attached, some of these will be. This is example one because this is part of the overall geometry. There's the smaller pieces here that will end up going on top. This is an extra layer. It's a different color, so specifically it's going to be one that will be attached separately. Big thing is why this is here. This is an axis hatch. One, it's hollow because weight reduction, storing for wires and lights and everything. So it will end up closing. There are really small pieces like this. Are part of the custom hinge system. The way this is going to be attached to my body is going to be awesome, but the way it's going to be attached is going to be very simple, so I can detach it. Like, I made it in a way where I can do it myself. That was the big thing. I wanted to be able to do this suit so I could put everything on myself. Continuing on with the parts. These are some of the bigger pieces, the more important parts. If you know, these will end up going on here. These are kind of, I call them the frame towers. But part of it is, how do I get these attached? The thing is, why there's so many holes is I don't like just putting adhesive on both sides and having it pressed because the things can move a little bit. I wanted some mechanical connection. Some of that will be involved, but there's always a mechanical connection first. These are actually 2 parts. You can kind of see here where the seam is. Of course, that seam is going to be gone with bodywork, but there's a lot of details that had to be involved in it. So I basically had to cut out a huge section. There you go. And there are holes in the base here where that will be bolted down in here, and then there are these plates that will also help, you know, finish the exterior shape. And then these will actually be permanent. Down here there will be lights that will stick out. They can be pulled out from the inside if there's any damage whatsoever. These will not be coming off, but I like the mechanical connection so I can do this assembly when I need to. The other panels like this, however, might be removable. This was kind of just showing the assembly of the design here, is that to print these things separately, have access to put it on first. This is also acts kind of like as a little bit of a key, and so it looks like that. Everything's covered up, so I save a lot of material, a lot of time, and therefore money when just trying to do this. And of course there'll be the lights there, and there's some extra detail work that's going to be done to those in the end for making the lights look like the way they do. This is the big middle section. This is actually a very interesting and intricate part. This is actually in 3 pieces. We got a side, the middle, and the other side. This is what the inside panel looks like from the outside. This actually has the little holes where it locks into this piece here. And then the weight reduction and material reduction. The reason why I did it like this instead, oh, I gotta go over that. Let me get into the base pieces here. This is what the backside looks like. It was a shelled piece. That way I can take out all this extra material, but I needed some structural support. So I end up creating this design in here. So it really reduces its flexibility, but it's a lot stronger. And same thing with all the connection points, because I didn't just want a bolt going through, I wanted there to be more support and strength around it. Same concept went even for the smaller ones as well. The reason I didn't do it with this one is because I didn't want to print it like this, because with this one I could print like this, because this angle here is greater than 45 degrees, so I don't have to worry about support material. This one is very steep and very low, so I would, and I didn't want to deal with that. Let alone I had these connections as well, and I didn't want those to be separate either. So I figured let's just print it like this, and let's do a pattern here and cut out as much material as possible. If you're wondering why I did hexagons, is because sometimes with the printer, it kind of happens. It just happens is that when it does the circular cross section on the print, sometimes the material just doesn't stick and it just moves and drags on. So I'm like, let me pick a geometric shape that has more, you know, actual corners. So it actually has to go around, and there's like a significantly less chance that will have a detrimental outcome. End up lofting to a certain height. Same thing with this material here. I printed this as one piece because I was thinking about doing it in like 3 pieces and doing all the shell stuff and having everything, so I didn't have any support structure. But as I was doing that, with the overall shape, there really wasn't a good way to do that. There really wasn't like a consistent, like, oh, just fill it these corners and everything will be fine. It was just getting really weird. I'm like, you know what, let's just make it one piece. It was for our print, but it came out right, and then this will fit right in here. It looks like that, except it won't fall out. But the cool thing is how this is that there's enough friction in here, and then once it's attached in there, this thing isn't coming out. So there's no need for me to adhere these pieces together, which is really, really good. There's a lot of, so the thrusters are going to come off. Those aren't going to be super heavy, but I wanted it to have structure, and this is a 1/4 inch thick. Just having PVC pipe in there, that's not going to work. So I needed something inside where I could connect it to, but it still needs to be hollow so the wires can come out, because the wires are going to come through that PVC pipe and come out through here where I connect to all the batteries and the switches, etc. So I came up with this design. This piece will sit on the inside in here, so it's going to be hard to see. So pretend this is the inside. It's going to sit here like this. There's 4 connection points, which will stick out through the 4 inner holes here. And what they do is they also align, the length is just right, and they align just in here, which is something I have to account for. And so I had a wider base and then a smaller base here, or smaller cylinder. The piece of pipe will come through here, and then a bolt will run through this which there will be a hole drilled through the PVC pipe where it will connect. The cool thing is that that will be a connection that can be undone, so the thrusters will be detachable to an extent. I mean, there will be the length of the wires, but that's kind of the overall point. And so I did a test, and I did this on my social media a while ago when this was done. I attached it, I put the PVC pipe, and there's enough friction also within this, let alone it also has the extra support just from resting on this, that I connected one end of it. I swung it around, it didn't make a sound. The other parts were in the back, where all these holes are. There's stuff like this, which comes up here. And then there's the ones that will go on the side. These are probably, next to these, the most crucial elements of the build, because this is how it gets attached to my body. So the ones on the side, so this is all for the nylon strapping. So the ones on the side here, there'll be a loop. They'll loop through the little loop there, and it will get attached to a strap, which will then clip to the side of the belt. And then specifically this one here, which is designed to be at this angle, there'll be two nylon straps that will come together very quickly, connect to a single strap, which will go through a little system that's going to be part of the belt that I'm going to have to make yet, that will then connect to the entire harness system. As a test, I attached actually the side one, put a little nylon strap through, and I shook it around, no problem at all. So it will be able to support all of the weight that this will have. This is what I've been working on a lot. There are some days where I'm actually just designing all day, brainstorming and thinking, coming up with a design, and then maybe just 3D modeling and prototyping. The order of operations for this is important, because how this connects, this has to be attached first, and then these will go on, which will then become permanent. So two things will have to become permanent right off the bat, and then this is going to become permanent, and then I can start making that all become one body. So there's a lot that has to yet get done, but I think I have to do the PVC pipe stuff first. Continuing on with the Jumpkit progress. This is kind of definitely in the middle of this video. Days have passed, hours have passed, progress has been made on the Titanfall 2 Pulse Wave Pilot Jumpkit, and I've done a lot of work on it, and I'm going to show you now what we have. So right here, this is now what we have. We have the outer panel and the inner panel and the middle section is all now combined. As you can tell, there's actually no hardware in it at the moment, because that was used initially to set it as the epoxy drive to adhere everything together. So it now all looks like one uniform shape, and that's awesome. I had to add the detail stuff in here before gluing this in. And then it's just been a process of the filling and sanding, but with the way the prints were and the way it was sealed, it really wasn't too much cleanup work. So there's still just a couple touch-ups. So along with continuing to do all that, there's actually a piece that I just started working on, well, not started working on, that I've been working on for like the last couple days. In total, it's been about 4 hours worth of work, which is, once you see it, you'll understand. I actually just put some filler primer on it, so I'll probably show that in the next section. Screw that, we're gonna go show you right now. So here is the actual part I'm talking about. As you can tell, it's very thin. It's probably not even an 1/8 of an inch thick. Yeah, right thickness for the top part. This was actually kind of a fun thing. I always like doing some of the smaller things, you know, getting closer. It's kind of hard with the lighting that there is this small bevel here. You can tell by this middle section that goes all the way around, and it does stop here. This was actually very interesting. I might wait till to really get in depth with that later, because of how I did it, because it's still kind of, oh, this isn't good. So I ended up cutting this out, and I cut everything out with corners, so it was easier to cut. And then to have these nice round corners, I end up adding another piece in a little small band, and then there's some body work on it. That's probably, there's a little bit of touch-up left on that piece, and then get that primed. So that's going to be done by the end of the day, and then I'll probably start gluing that on, just glue that on tomorrow or whatnot. So the next things that really need to happen with the Jumpkit are really getting thrusters. I actually ordered my Cree, they're like Cree XPEG2, like I said, Cree LEDs. They're super bright. There are 2 of them, 1 for each thruster. I'm still designing the thrusters, and because there's a certain way I want everything to attach and lock together, and the assembly and the order of operation. So I'm trying to still design the best system. I've been sitting here like for a couple days trying to figure that out. I'm really wanting this to come out properly. So I'm really happy with it so far. But today is Sunday. It's a relaxing kind of day. Of course, when I'm doing this part, it's a Sunday. So kind of day. I've been working all week on this stuff. So you know what? Join me in taking the day off. Let's go do something fun. Of course, I'm going to be thinking about all this prop stuff and how to do it. But that means tomorrow I'll be starting out with a fresh mind, and I'll have brand new ideas, and we'll be getting somewhere. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace! Someone need to clearly about, I don't know what the number,